Admiral Kex Thul of the Draknari Empire had conquered 47 star systems without breaking a sweat from his scales. His dreadnought fleet was the terror of 3 galactic sectors equipped with plasma cannons that could crack planets and shields that had never been breached. When the primitive humans of Sol 3 had dared to refuse his surrender ultimatum, he had laughed a sound like grinding metal that echoed through his command bridge. These mammals think their crude projectile weapons can match Draknari plasma technology. Kex Thul sneered to his tactical officer. "We'll crush them like insects and harvest their world for resources." Commander Vale Knox, his second in command, studied the tactical displays with growing unease. "Admiral, our scouts report something unusual. The humans aren't running. They're mobilizing." "Of course they are," Kex Thul dismissed with a wave of his clawed hand. "Primitive species always make futile gestures before accepting their fate." "How many ships do they have?" "A few hundred, sir." Vale Knox's voice carried a tremor. "Our sensors are detecting over 10,000 vessels emerging from their asteroid belts, gas giant shadows, and orbital installations. And Admiral, these aren't the same ships our advanced scouts reported 6 months ago." The main display flickered to life, showing the human fleet taking formation. Kex Thul's confidence wavered as he observed ships unlike anything in their intelligence files. Sleek, angular vessels, bristling with weapon ports, their hulls bearing scars and reinforcements that spoke of recent rapid construction. "Impossible," he muttered. "No species can build fleets that quickly." What Admiral Kex Thul didn't understand was that humanity had a unique relationship with warfare. While other species treated conflict as a last resort, humans had spent their entire evolutionary history perfecting the art of killing. They didn't just build weapons, they dreamed them, refined them, and mass-produced them with terrifying efficiency. The moment the Draknari scouts had been detected in human space 6 months earlier, Earth's military-industrial complex had shifted into what historians would later call crisis production mode. Factories that manufactured civilian goods were retooled overnight. Mining operations on Mars, Europa, and the asteroid belt worked around the clock. Every human colony became a fortress, every space station a weapons platform. "Admiral," came a transmission from the lead human vessel. "This is Fleet Admiral Sarah Chen of the Terran Defense Force. You have 10 minutes to withdraw from Sol System, or we will demonstrate why humanity has never lost a war." Kex Thul's laugh returned, though less confident than before. "You dare threaten the Draknari Empire? We have conquered worlds when your species was still crawling in mud. Then you should have stayed there conquering other worlds," Chen replied calmly, "because you just made the worst tactical decision in galactic history." The human fleet began to move, and Kex Thul realized with growing horror that their formation wasn't defensive. It was a hunter's formation, designed to eliminate every single enemy vessel with maximum efficiency. "Begin the attack," Kex Thul roared. "Show these mammals the power of Draknari plasma." The first exchange would be studied in military academies across the galaxy for centuries. The Draknari plasma cannons, feared throughout known space, met humanity's response, a wall of kinetic projectiles moving at relativistic speeds, followed by fusion torpedoes, antimatter missiles, and weapons systems that seemed to violate the known laws of physics. But it wasn't just the weapons that shocked the Draknari, it was the humans' tactical approach. While other species fought with honor, following established rules of engagement, humans fought to win. They targeted life support systems, used the gravity wells of planets as weapons, and employed tactics so ruthlessly efficient that Kex Thul's officers began panicking. "Sir?" Vale Knox shouted over the chaos as explosions rocked their flagship. "They're not just shooting at us, they're shooting through us. They're using our own ships as cover to attack vessels behind us." A human destroyer, its hull breached and venting atmosphere, deliberately rammed a Draknari cruiser while continuing to fire all weapons. The collision created a debris field that the humans immediately weaponized, using mass drivers to accelerate the wreckage into other enemy ships. Retreat. Kexthal finally screamed as his dreadnought shields failed under the constant barrage. All ships, retreat to hyperspace. But the humans had anticipated this. Long-range interceptors appeared from behind Jupiter's moons, cutting off the Draknari escape routes. What followed wasn't a battle, it was a systematic dismantling of the most feared fleet in 3 sectors. As Admiral Kexthal's flagship limped away, one of only 12 vessels to escape from his original fleet of 300, he received a final transmission from Admiral Chen. "Admiral, you're going to return to your empire and deliver a message. Humanity doesn't want war, but we've been preparing for it since we first looked at the stars. Tell them what you saw here today. Tell them that humans don't just fight to win, we fight to ensure our enemies never want to fight us again." In the aftermath, as rescue ships tended to the few Draknari survivors, galactic intelligence agencies scrambled to understand what had happened. The humans hadn't just won a battle, they had demonstrated a level of military capability that no one had suspected existed. The files would later reveal the truth. While other species had spent millennia developing art, philosophy, and peaceful technologies, humans had spent the same time perfecting warfare. Every human conflict, from ancient tribal battles to world wars, had been a laboratory for military innovation. When they finally reached the stars, they brought with them 10,000 years of accumulated knowledge about one thing: how to kill efficiently. The Draknari Empire, for the first time in its history, sued for peace. The terms were simple: stay out of human space, and humanity would stay out of Draknari space. Admiral Chen's final log entry became legendary throughout the galaxy. "Today, we didn't prove that humans are the strongest species, or the smartest, or the most advanced. We proved that we are the species you least want to fight." And sometimes, that's the only proof of dominance that matters. The Battle of Sol became known across the galaxy as the moment when humanity's true nature was revealed, not as explorers or diplomats, but as the apex predators of space, armed with 10 millennia of evolutionary warfare experience and the industrial capacity to turn that experience into overwhelming firepower. The galaxy learned a valuable lesson: never threaten a species that considers warfare an art form.